they're mostly called, avoidable mistakes, okay? Because mostly human error that
Mm-hmm.
comes into play. Let's say, for instance, one of the most common mistakes that we make is we lack lane discipline. When we talk about lane discipline, we're talking about how to just be patient and polite, and also users. So we
Mm-hmm.
will take, for instance, because this is a real life situation. We'll take, for instance, the Addis Ababa road. That is a very busy road, especially maybe during the mornings and the evenings. And then you'll see that there are some turns, like we have a lot of turns going into Rhodes Park and the other area on the left. So you find that there is a car that's ahead of you, and then wanting to try to make a turn, they will just rightly give you an indicator that umuntu afuna kukoneka kungena
Mm-hmm.
mu Rhodes Park, and then you as a driver who's right behind this driver who's indicating to make a turn, without due care, you want to make a switch from the right lane into the
Mm-hmm.
left, which is the outer lane, without due care, or maybe minding that you're not the only one who's using that road. There is another vehicle that's approaching maybe from behind. You risk causing an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Of these accidents are that they are a waste of time, because you wouldn't want to be delayed, because for us, the traffic police, to come through to the scene, we have to take our time. We investigate, we barricade the area, we just have to give notice to other road users that there's been a crash, or just to avoid any further accidents or maybe injuries. So you look at the time that you're going to waste. You're not going to get to the place you're rushing to in that manner. You start regretting that, had I just hang on just right there and then wait for this person to make a turn, I was going to access the road freely.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Okay, so that's lane discipline. What else? What other common mistakes do we have the drivers
Right.
doing on our roads?
Stop abruptly. In most cases, you find we don't give warning that we're going to make a stop. So it's very important that we put our hazard lights, whatever reasons. Maybe we have a breakdown.
Mhm.
That's very common, because these are just machines that we sometimes experience mechanical failures. And then if you have a problem, you have a challenge, use your hazard lights on. You can switch them on, and then
Mhm.
you give notice to the people around you, other road users, that okay, you have developed a fault. Because if you just stop abruptly, you risk being hit from the back. And then in most cases, we get to the scene, and then when we investigate and find out that you're actually in the wrong. Gone are the days that we would say, okay, wamene akubunka kumbuyo nishindia na problem. So, carry out our investigations. We record statements from witnesses around there, and then we will make a sound conclusion to say, okay, the one who was in the wrong was this one, and then we'll charge you rightly with the
Mm.
right offense. Another common mistake is we fail to actually obey traffic signals and traffic lights. All right.
Mm.
These are traffic rules and regulations that we fail to follow, which lead to these common accidents. Let's say, let's take, for instance, the most common ones when we talk about failing to obey traffic signals and
Mm.
traffic lights is on the traffic lights themselves. Okay. Here we are. We have the traffic lights ahead of you. And then maybe as we're driving, the traffic lights will give you amber. Okay. I've got this very, very small book, which is mostly neglected by we drivers in
Mhm.
most cases, as well as pedestrians, which gives us a guide on how we're supposed to use the road safely, which is the highway code.
Yeah.
And I must maybe guide our listeners that this highway code is not for sale. It's actually free of charge. You can go to any Zambia Police traffic department. They have, and then you can also access it at the RATSA. So on page 64, the National Highway Code, how you can be safe on the traffic lights, and of course it talks about the red light, which means stop. You come to a complete stop. So you will notice that when you get to the traffic lights, there are these lines which will guide you.
Mm.
We call them the stop line. There is a white line at the traffic lights just right there. Let's say, for instance, at Manda Hill. That white line is the stop line. So if it's red, you have to wait behind that white line. Okay?
Behind.
Behind that white line.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, because if let's say you are ahead of the white line when it's red, you risk being hit by people who are making turns, or maybe they're going into another lane.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you're better off stopping behind the white lane because it gives you a clearance distance. And then on the amber is mostly mistaken. We drivers tend to say, "Banifienga wa police, why banigwira?" Because the
Mhm.
amber in light, meaning amber simply means you have to slow down or wait.
Mhm.
All right. So giving a guide on the lines that we have on the stop line, at the stop line, you may only go on if the amber appears after you have crossed that line, which is the stop line. So you can go ahead. If you're, let's say, Japarika white line,
Mhm.
which tells you to stop when it's a red light, it gives you, you stop and you wait behind the white line. So if it's amber and you're beyond that line, you can go ahead.
Mhm.
Okay, you should get this right. So if you're at the stop line and then you're beyond it, let's say it gives you amber, and then you're beyond that white line, you can go ahead. There is no offense in that way. Okay, because
Mhm.
you cannot make an abrupt stop. You cannot make an emergency stop in the middle of the road because you're going to block the road. You're going to block the way, and then nishba banga kubunke, and you might cause an accident.
Mhm.
So on the stop line, if it's amber, if you're beyond, you can go ahead. But if you're not at the stop line before it's amber, and then it gives you amber before the white line, you have an obligation to stop right there. You stop, and you will be safe that way. And of
Mhm.
course, green tells you to go ahead. All right. But it's not always that we have to go ahead. Sometimes kumangalati ya kupasani green, but kuli bantu maybe pamene wakali kuchita cross.
Mhm.
So that way you have to also give courtesy to other road users. Mawasiya road yankala clear. So with the green, you only have to proceed and go ahead if the road is clear in
Mhm.
that manner.
So, so much controversy on the traffic light issues.
Absolutely,
I
yes.
know most people are stopped by some police
Right.
officers,
Mhm.
and there's always this argument. I'm very grateful that you've made it very clear. It's very simple. So,
Sure.
let me just repeat what you said. You
Yes,
said
please.
if Amber catches you
Mhm.
before the stop line,
That's right.
you can you cannot go.
You cannot
But
go
if it catches you in the middle, like if you already crossed the stop
beyond.
line,
You've
then
already
beyond,
exactly.
then you
Yes.
can go.
Yes, absolutely.
Mwamvera uko mumvera note
Yes. I hope
vanipyenga
Bambera.
vapolisi vakudimata vanje vani
Yes, which
na
is why I'm
vaso
giving
kuti
emphasis that
vaziva
this
uko. Mm,
highway code is very,
mm.
readily available wherever you can find it at the right office
Mezvanuza kuti sivangazitemberako muchinyanja
or
muchinemba.
with this, we're still getting
Mm,
there, but we
yeah,
want to, by all means, to reach out to, which is why
everyone,
we
yeah.
have these sensitization programs. We've interacted with a lot of drivers and
Mm,
pedestrians, so we are taking the law to the people so they can be in the know. Because in most cases, we as a Zambia Police Service, we're known to be on the enforcement part, which is
mm,
exactly the mandate that you gave us. All right,
mhm,
we have to enforce the law, and you give that duty to us. But when we do our annual analysis, we get to realize that the enforcement part has been done,
mm,
but still we're not going to reduce on this. Why? Where is the problem? So now the Zambia Police Service decided to say, okay, why not take the law to the people so they can at least be aware of what is right and what is wrong, which is,
mhm,
I think it's a good thing because Article 193, I would say clause 2F talks about we, the Zambia Police Service,
mm,
promoting good relationships with the members of the public, which is exactly what we're doing by bringing the law and interacting, engaging our members of the public because we're offering a service. To serve you better, we have to
mm.
know what you're lacking. To serve you better, tifunika taziva kuti vantu vatu tizavatandizira bwanji tizavachita bwanji kuti ivi vintu tizivita avoid, especially accidents and also other offenses.
Mhm.
Sure.
So, still on the traffic lights, Chief Inspector. I've seen a lot of people not patient enough.
Sure.
The traffic light is still red and they start moving a little bit.
Exactly. Commonly so. Yes,
And
yes,
sometimes they'll keep moving slowly, slowly, slowly until they
hmm,
even cross the red
yes,
before the green even comes on. So I don't know what you have to say about that and the dangers of that kind of practice whereby people just can't stand in line, wait for just a minute or so and be patient. And
yes,
the traffic lights,
absolutely.
I've never seen traffic lights that take like five
No, no, no,
minutes
no, no.
maximum, maybe a minute
A minute, two, the
two
most.
at the
Yes.
most,
Hmm.
yes. But then I don't see why nicely dressed gentlemen from the eastern province fail to to obey traffic lights.
Oh yeah,
But
true that.
yeah, but no, on jokes aside, I
That's right.
really
Yep.
feel
Hmm.
you have to say something about the dangers of
Yeah.
doing that kind of thing.
Okay.
Whether if you
Yeah.
so what do you think can happen to someone when they do that?
At the traffic lights, there are so many offenses, and traffic lights are there to give us a guide,
Mm-hmm.
okay, on when to go and when to stop, because in most cases where we have traffic lights, there are different signals. So if you're given a red signal in your, maybe in your area, there is a red signal, meaning there is somewhere where these traffic lights are given a go ahead. Okay, so you starting to, being, impatient, you want to start moving slowly in there. Now, can you take for instance, you're at the traffic lights and then
Mm-hmm.
you want to start moving slowly, and then there is a truck which is trying to make a turn. Trucks are really, big and they're long, trying to make an angle in order for it to turn, and then in the process, because you cannot go back, there is another one, another vehicle that's right behind you. So where do you go now? You
Mm-hmm.
end up being crashed, you end up causing an accident. So that is because it's against the law under section 155 of the Road Traffic Act number 11 of 2002. It amounts to dangerous driving. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And dangerous driving, you could be taken to court and be jailed. Seriously. So if we take these things for granted, a prudent driver should be polite and patient. Okay. So you just have to, do the right thing, obey these traffic rules, these regulations, these signals, these, lights. It's very important because they're there to serve for a purpose. And in the long run, you realize that it's just for your own, protection, for your own safety. And let me go. There is at some point we're talking about these traffic lights maybe going off
Mm-hmm.
at a certain time. Indeed, they will go off. Maybe that's the way they were programmed. Automatically, they will just maybe give you a blink. They will just be blinking, all
Mm-hmm.
that. And maybe I would just urge our drivers to just be extra cautious, as they're especially on the Great East. There is nobody who has the right of way at that moment. Okay, we treat it as a four-way stop. That's an intersection at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has a duty to make a complete stop, or rather maybe slow down. If the way is clear, you can proceed. So at that moment, you don't have the right of way, even if you're coming from the Saka town, you're coming from Chongwe, whichever direction you're coming from,
Mm-hmm.
this Machinchi or Addis Ababa, you have to come to a complete stop. If it is clear, you can go ahead. And maybe for security reasons, you cannot come to a complete stop for risk, maybe for fear of being attacked. You can just slow down, observe, look around your environment, and then you can proceed.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to avoid these crashes, because you might be thinking you have the right of way, and then there is another one who sees that, okay, these lights are not working. They will also have that same thought, and then you meet
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the road. You are involved in a crash, and then you don't get to where you're going safely.
Okay, so in the event that they're not working, just to be very clear on what you just
Yes,
said,
please.
it's now a four-way
It's
stop.
a
First
four-way.
come, first serve.
Exactly, that's right.
Nafika pala in paja,
Amenafika
ndio
pala in
enda
paja.
first.
Yes,
Mm.
because just be patient. At the
Yeah.
end of it all, unless you're a rally driver, there is no reward for these rushes that you find muntu akusta overtake. Then
Mm.
akone paja, maybe like 20 meters away from where Pamenax overtake. Akusta overtake, and then I end up pasugolo bako.
Oh, ambok pasa signal ati
Hey,
mpase ko
kind of, no, get to
chance.
think of that. Honestly, we just have to be,
Yeah.
responsible enough. And this is an appeal. Okay, not that we're scolding or maybe we're reprimanding our drivers. It's an appeal by the Zambia Police Service to be, road user safe. Okay, Safe road user behavior is what we need to employ as we're driving, because we want you, as you're leaving your homestead, you're leaving your houses, you're leaving your homes, you have families that depend on you. You need to leave your home as safe as you are and get to your destination safely, as well as coming back. It's really painful that somebody leaves home, very safe, very healthy, and then you just receive a phone call say, "Uyu muntu atisi."
Mm.
Get to think of it. Is that natural? No, it's not. Natural causes could be maybe wadwala, wafa, but the muntu wakuti very fit achoka kunyumba because ali reckless,
Mm.
and akangi wakustacha be observed and can road safety apezikati amwalira, and then maybe ngati sana mwalire as apezikati and a permanent injury. It would just, it's an economic burden as well as financial burden on themselves as well as to the government. It's a huge loss.
Mm.
So let's just apply ourselves to and develop road user safety behavior.
All right. And just before I invite callers, there's another very important issue. Actually, a colleague of mine asked me to really, really raise this point.
Sure.
I know most of the pedestrian crossings in
Mhm.
our city are a bit faded or they're non existent.
Right.
But then, how is a driver expected to behave as they are approaching a pedestrian crossing? And also, maybe you can combine this one as you answer
Yes, please.
the pedestrian crossings at
Mhm.
the traffic lights.
Yes.
Sometimes you find pedestrian crossings
Yeah.
at traffic lights.
Yes.
So, in this case, how is a pedestrian supposed to go about?
Right.
How do you cross the road in these instances?
Thank you very much. I want to talk about SI, that's statutory instrument number 7
Mhm.
of 2020. It gives us a guide for people maybe who'd want to make a research. It's statutory instrument number 7 of 2020. It gives us a guide on the zones, the areas, school areas, what speed you're supposed to move at, built up areas, what speed you're supposed to move at. Now, going to your question, Chifwesa, at the traffic lights, I believe sometimes we would have the pedestrian, signal as well. Okay, so that will guide you.
Pedestrian signal ni
The
kaja
pedestrian
kamuntu
signal
kaja
kaja
katika
kamuntu
kaun
kamene
kamgani
kamankalapo,
kamkazi. Aha.
kaja kamuntu kamene kamankalapo pama lights, mostly timankala nako pama traffic lights
Uh,
kaja. So ngati kali red, meaning already red is danger. It says do not cross the road at that moment, because nishi kunangu mamenenzi nakambira papaja ati kukuyapasa go ahead kuli vantu venangu vamene vafunika kuchita access road. So ngati kapasa red, you as a pedestrian, even if manani kani ma lines yalipo, so funika kuchita cross, because kuja kwinangu nishawapasa go ahead, meaning they'll have to access the road, and then kuja nishiwaza kuona because kuja kweve wapasa green, meaning they have to go ahead. You as a pedestrian, you are on it since pali pedestrian nankin crossing, or your driver as anyone. So nifunika tabi na cross, you risk being hit, and then the dangers of being hit as a pedestrian are really unfortunate, because it's a direct impact. Okay, it's a direct impact, unlike somebody who's in a vehicle or maybe somewhere shielded aliko na ija nankan protection from that direct manje ngati uyesa kushita cross, it's either vazakutiola mendo nangu vazakupaya pamene pacha, just because you want to access the road in that manner. Where we don't have them, it's very important that you observe, waona na motoka mwamene ili kutali bwanje motoka ili pafupi bwanje motoka na speed. Sometimes even if tilibe ma speed detectors tinga, we can just use our maybe estimation to say iyi motoka ya tabai. Okay, so do not risk and maybe just be conscious with yourself, just know when to cross and when not to cross the road. Sure.
All right. And then pedestrian crossing, is it just right for someone to just spring out of nowhere just because there's a zebra crossing without even looking both ways and as a pedestrian and say, okay, I've got the right of way here?
Oh, absolutely not. That is
Mm.
not the way it's supposed to be. In as much as drivers will have a duty to yield to a pedestrian crossing, yeah, it is your duty as a pedestrian. You have an obligation to actually use the road safely as well, because sometimes wamena kambira speed ya motoka simankala nankani maybe detected, but you can estimate so that naiwe wankala safe.
Mm.
Sometimes kumankala ma brakes, we have mechanical failures, pamene uganizira ati apa nzakrosa since aniona uyo driver afuna rightly afuna kuchita apply my brakes yabaya my brakes kapena yaenda, then what do you expect to be the outcome? Definitely bazakubunga, and then zapezikati we lose a life in such a manner, which is really unfortunate. So we just always have to be conscious, even as we have to be conscious, we have to be cautious even as we're using this road.
Okay. Dear listener, this is People on the Move on your Happy Day station. Remember, we're also live on our Facebook page, the 5FM Radio Zambia Facebook page. We are talking to Chief Inspector Obby Chilyabufu from the Zambia Police Service here in Lusaka, and he's the Senior Traffic Officer. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Yes, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back, and we'll be taking in your concerns thereafter.
Every Wednesday on the Happy World of 5FM Radio, join Chifwesa at 09 hours on People on the Move.
A lot of deaths have been caused by drivers who are drunk whilst driving, and the trend seems to be rampant in Zambia.
We are very less caring on the issue of drinking and driving. I've been talking about this for the last 23 years.
The situation in Zambia is worse, and I think it's one of those that is across all the countries in the low-income and middle-income countries.
A road safety awareness program. Remember, road safety, a shared responsibility. Watch and listen online on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia. Every Wednesday on the Happy World of 5FM Radio, join Chifwesa at 09 hours on People on the Move.
A lot of deaths have been caused by drivers who are drunk whilst driving, and the trend seems to be rampant in Zambia.
We are very less caring on the issue of drinking and driving. I've been talking about this for the last 23 years.
The situation in Zambia is worse, and I think it's one of those that is across all the countries in the low-income and middle-income countries.
A road safety awareness program. Remember, road safety, a shared responsibility. Watch and listen online on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia.
Welcome back to People on the Move on 5FM Radio 89.9 here in Lusaka City and surrounding areas. And if you are not in Lusaka, do not despair. You can listen to 5FM Radio. If you download the Radio Garden app on your smartphone, install it, and you'll be able to listen to 5FM Radio from anywhere you are in the world. Yes, like I said, the number to call is 0955221515. Remember, today we are into education. Let's do more of education than anything else, and let's share with each other the common mistakes that you find drivers are making out there. And Chief Inspector Obby Chilyabufu is here to guide. Obviously, where the law comes in, and see how we can move forward as a nation to prevent these deaths and injuries that we are recording every day on our roads. So remember, this is the objective, and let us work together towards achieving a lesser people dying on our roads. Yes, the number is 0955221515. We already have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning, madam.
Morning. How are you today?
I'm good, why?
Okay.
The weather is good today.
Okay.
Yesterday. Yes, madam.
The weather is perfect, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Your name, please?
Win.
Bawidi Mudishan.
You say we know that teaching, madam.
Ah, we know. You can go ahead, Bawidi.
Hey, Warishani wa police.
Mkwai bawiri mudishani mkwai.
Tilipe wino kukulepe marezale tungai.
Amen to atotera sana mkwai.
Na chapo kulanda panono ili ashire kwa sometimes your officers sometimes you should advise them at least sometimes to give someone morning or to educate some people. Ili kwa they and drain. You may take a small mistake, even they impound you, they are looking at money, they don't look at educating the offender. No. Like, for example, I'll give you this good example whereby you find the traffic officers that these junction Maropots where Church Road and the Cairo Road there at the post office. Yeah, you find that there are police officers. Sometimes is the way they have designed that road, this Cairo Road. Coming from south to west, there are 3 lanes there. In fact, there are 4 lanes. So again, when you go to that junction of Church Road, sometimes they get confused when they are in this other lane to the right to Church Road, but the mistake maybe it goes straight because they have seen the other lane there, they are open. So you find that the officers there, they just impound the motorists and they don't educate them, say, no, next time don't do this. 3/4 of the officers, that's what they do. At least we should advise them at some time to educate, to give, motorists at least that last morning. That's my take.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Otherwise, some of the officers there, they are doing a good job. For example, I had a case now it's not concerning traffic, but it's a police officer. The way under the a police officer, that one from Telma was there. It's a police force that Telma was there.
Sure, sir. Thank you very
That's
much.
what the police should do. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Rudy.
Yes, 0955221515. You'd love to respond immediately to that one. I know, but let's try and pick up another one.
Yes, please.
At
Sure.
least 3, 4 in a row. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning, madam.
Good morning, thank you. You're through to the program. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Calling from Chongwe.
Okay, how's Chongwe this morning?
Yes, Chongwe is okay.
Great.
You can't complain, yeah.
Okay, you
And,
can go ahead, sir.
Sorry?
You can go ahead.
Okay, I just want to find out from the inspector there, what plans do they have for what plans and what measures have they put in place for the bus drivers? Because these people are just annoying. Like, they are the ones breaking the rules. You find the traffic lights are red. Yeah, I think that's my take.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very
did
much.
you get his name?
We didn't.
Please
get
tell
his
us your name before you go.
Yeah, the name is Andrew from
Okay.
Chongwe.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew. Thank you. Okay, 0955221515. We can take in more callers. Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning, madam.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Makeni. This is Mr. Aaron.
Okay, Mr. Aaron, you can go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I would love to speak in vernacular language.
Please feel free.
Yeah. By inspector.
Yes, sir.
Ingamveremushinga mungaendeko pa kafiwe junction, Rumumba Kafiwe junction there. Just watch what is happening with your officers. I think you can find that my traffic lights, like Mamene Mwenzi Wakambila, Amber, Waklosa Kudala white line, Abwera Wakugwi. So, that upeze ka ulibema powers, ulibema menonga cheat. Ufuna tufuna wakulipirisa. So I think you need to mufuni kwa educate my officers over that.
Okay, thank you.
Aaron. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr.
0955221515. This is People on the Move on 5FM Radio. We are talking to Chief Inspector Obby Chilyabufu, the Senior Traffic Officer from the Zambia Police Service Headquarters here in Lusaka. We have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Obby calling from Lusaka.
Sorry, we didn't get your name.
Tobias.
Obvious. Oh, okay. Mr. Obvious, you can go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Obvious.
Yes. Uzapeza ati uli pa traffic light paja. Then ufuna crosser. Even kusogoro kuli motoka inzako paja. Then mama traffic light yakali mu yellow mu. Then wapeza kati wa crosser then kuja. Wa police besa pe bakugwira tawo zo kuri kwembekeza kuti pite mu green mu.
Kwasila?
Yeah, kwa sio.
Okay,
Okay,
Obby,
thank you very much, Mr.
thank you.
Obvious.
Okay, so dear caller, we will take a short break. Let us allow the chief inspector to respond quickly to these 5 concerns that have come in, and then we'll take in another set of 5
Yes, please.
more.
Sure.
Yes, Chief Inspector Chilyabufu.
All
We
right,
can
thank you.
start with is it Mr. Willie?
Yes, Mr. Willie and Mr. I would say maybe 3 of them.
Yes, the same concern.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
So then,
Okay. So now we, as the Zambia Police Service, are law enforcement officers, and our organization is very reputable. And I would like to say that we stand for what is right. In most cases, maybe let's maybe say his suggestion to say these officers should be warning us. It was Vaziti Kururukirako sometimes. Yes, indeed. We maybe sometimes we have the maybe to pardon somebody if they have a genuine justification. All right, because sometimes people directly. Okay, bantu amachitira chabe ddala bazi banoziva kuti ileni isipitirira but bafuna chabe kuchitana nkani inconvenience other road users in the name of vazani kululukira sometimes. But we as officers look at what is right, what are we supposed to do, what duty were we given, okay, in this enforcement of the law. Are we supposed to maybe forgive, or are we supposed to enforce the law? Okay. These are, rules and regulations that we are just given. We do not make them. Okay. So they sit in parliament, you, the same people, the members of the public, you are engaged in the process of making these laws. So mukatipasa malamulo kuti muntu akachita so akaluvyanya munjira yaso mufunika mwamuchita punish munjira yaso. We avoid maybe in some cases
officer namlando okululukira, how do you pardon someone who's beating a traffic light? Because that's deadly
exactly
mistake.
that's right
Deadly
that's
mistake.
right. And then the dangers of that,
yes.
or maybe you might be setting a very bad precedent.
Yes.
Okay, because ngati muntu, let's say for instance alipama traffic lights, maybe let me go kuli ba Mr. Obvious. Kuli motoka pasogolo, if I got him right, pali motoka pasogolo and then yaka amber. I'm going back to the highway code, page 64 and 65. It will give you a guide. Ngati pali motoka pasogolo and then it amber, definitely ni kusogolo kwake kuja kuli blocked. Isn't it? Kusogolo kwabo kuja chifukwa chamene, so very rightly bapita kozienza green and then mutime yanu yaka amber, then pali motoka pasogolo because maybe kuli obstruction kusogolo nangu kuli chabe something, maybe broken down track. Mostly my tracks in the breakdown. Nangu chabe motoka ili yonse yasta breakdown, mechanical failure. Ya blocking a road. Vajabantu bazashitako slow down. Kuti bayizinge kaside nankani. Kaside road, or maybe the next road available. So iwe ngati pali motoka pasogolo imwe, maybe say pali motoka pasogolo pano. Imwe mukuchita nankani, kuchita avoid maybe accident. Mukuyembekeza chabe kumbuyo kwa ija motoka, don't go ahead or follow it right behind. So just treat it, that amber at that moment should be a red to you. Because ngati pa amber, definitely uko kwinango shortly is pasa green. Nibwerera kuli track. Ifuna kuenda track paja, maybe say ifuna kupanga nankani, ifuna kupanga turn. And mostly baja tracks amankala bali pamwamba. Saza kuona kuti kuli muntu pansi hapa. Azafuna chabe kupanga corner and then aza kushita squeeze. So at that moment, chili kuli iwe chabe, you as a driver just to take precautions and for your own safety kunkala chabe muleni muja, so that we stay avoid kunkala nankan involved in muli road traffic accident. So in most cases tilina discretion yoshta forgive depending na offense ya mene yankala committed. Sometimes bantu amafuna chabe kuti okay apa nizaona wa polisi ngati wasitatani, but isa wa polisi timalangana wamene munatipasira mandate mukuchita enforced law timachita chabe vamene tifunika kuchita, not that tifuna kukufyengani iyai, because tichita avoid kusogolo kuzapezekati uyu muntu lero mwamukululukira namayiro azabwezapo namazo azabwezapo pa last azakazipeza chani mu accident manje nishise kupati kwatu tafeluka. So in most cases timachita chabe enforced law mwamene ifunika kunkalira. Otherwise iko mkwambiri kuli wawiri na ba Mr. Wanza nabandani naba
Obvious.
obvious.
So Andrew, Andrew is saying my bus drivers.
Yes.
My bus drivers. My bus drivers. Bus
Well,
drivers.
kani ama bus drivers. Let's treat everyone.
Some of them.
Let's treat everyone equally.
Yeah.
They are road users as well. There are some bus drivers, even chabe maumeno kamlanganira chabe ukaona chabe, well dressed, respectable. Uniform aivala bwino amvera bwino ti ntchito yake. Okay, ni office yake. Mostly vamene vamachita misbehave ni vantu valibe ma responsibilities. Okay, vamene valibe vochita. Sometimes due to change tinachinja ma operation and strategies. Okay, mwamene vamachitira misbehave vantu ava sometimes timankalama mostly. Okay, but mwamene vachitira raise over Andrew vakambati which route did he mention?
He didn't mention routes.
Okay,
what measures?
If I'm a obstruction,
what plans and measures do you have for?
Yeah,
bus
I
drivers?
think obstruction. Ni offense by Nankan section 188 of the Road Traffic Act number 11 of 2002. Yakuti muntu wastanankani obstruct roadway with intention, deliberately. In most cases, ngati tapeza kuli breakdown, maybe we will maybe tolerate that. But muntu kuchitatabe with impunity, I made it a pakati pa road, and then afaka ma hazards. Uyo muntu yotizamugwira no mu charging, and then uyo muntu maybe azakambati no nenzo chitanankani. We will go back to statutory instrument number 76 of 2022. It gives us a guide. It really gives us a guide. Kulima designated areas, you're picking up Ovantu, na you're dropping up Ovantu. But in most cases, we avoid those. Let's say for instance, a hybrid. Okay, a hybrid, it's very common. And that's a concern that was brought forward to office. And our officers definitely are on the ground. We will send them right there to impound each and every vehicle that's causing that obstruction. So it's a genuine concern, yawa Mr. Andrew, but everybody is a road user. At the end of the day, road safety is a shared responsibility. Ngati mwapeza bantu amene wasta misbehave in that manner, pa polisi sibaliko, you take down ya motoka ija na make, because you ndiye guide. My number plates maybe sometimes yangakali altered, maybe sometimes yangapezekati ni ya motoka na number plate ndiye vizachitandiza kuti tipange follow up on that report. Otherwise road safety is a shared responsibility. With the officers together we can be safe.
Chief Inspector, I also want to add something. Pajapa Ngwerere roundabout turnoff.
Yes, please.
That's a downhill if you're coming from north into Lusaka.
That's right.
Yes, if you're coming from the north going into Lusaka. So what happens there is immediately you exit the roundabout.
Yes,
just
please.
there there's a lay-by, a big lay-by, whereby it can accommodate even 2 big rosters and 2 smaller buses.
Okay.
Because we were told that lay-bys are not for loading, it's just pick and drop points.
Exactly.
But
absolutely.
Then, I mean, with this economy, obviously they would love to fill their buses and proceed with at least few people here and there. So what is happening there is this is a Rosa bus, for example, parked right in the middle, and that is a highway. Let us not forget that is a highway.
Right,
so yeah, coming. This is a truck maybe coming from Tanzania. He doesn't know that here. I know that road. I always slow down. I say, oh, Papa Mpes bus drivers, but let's umuntu afumine Dar es Salaam.
Yes.
Truck driver nana kateshi benokushbate. There's this nuisance going on here. What do you think is going to happen?
Absolutely, there's going to be a bang. There's going to be a crash.
And we've had so many accidents there, and people continue doing the same thing.
It's
so
very unfortunate.
What can we do in this instance?
We have.
Please help us.
I want to appreciate the fact that we were equipped with these patrol vehicles. Okay, and we have changed our operation strategy. In most cases, maybe they used to know the traffic police to be Pama checkpoints, maybe main of it. Now it's we want to call upon our members of the public. It's an appeal by the Zambia Police Service that let's work together to reduce on these road traffic accidents. The people involved in the abrogation of the law, you look at the dangers, because rightly the way you've put it, Tanzania, and it's a downhill. Mostly my tracks yalina ma brakes yapatali maningi ufunika kupompa pakuti akapompe manje ni downhill ija alina load chija chitrailer chija chizamu chitanani can overpower Obviously, as abwera chabe kubwera, ramming into your vehicle. All right. Now you look at the risk that you're posing. Okay, it takes a toll on the government as well, because this is the workforce that we keep losing negligently because we neglect to follow the right thing. We have to just apply ourselves and do the right thing. The police can only do so much. Okay, a policeman and we appeal, we call upon members of the public to just get involved in this fight to reduce these road traffic accidents. But coming to the solution, we have patrol vehicles, and definitely we will be making rounds. And we would just want our members of the public to work with us. Let's work with us. Let's work with the Zambia Police Service. Gatumona muntu say afuna kukuriskingan because at that moment your life is in danger. Okay, so you don't want to lose your life in that manner. You can call a toll-free line, which is the Ratsa toll-free line, which is 983. That's a very important line. Mukaona chabe muntu, maybe ni bus driver, nangoni muntu chabe akulodingani, pa place yakuti, it's risky. Think about your life. Think about your safety. Okay? And the road is not a right place to just, play around. Road is a very, sensitive area, which everybody has to be concerned about their safety. It starts with you.
All right. Well, we can take in some more callers, but let me just read a message that has come through on our Facebook page, the 5FM Radios page. We are live on the page. It comes from Mr. Gregory Banda. He says, good morning. Bus drivers are causing confusion at automotive equipment opposite Cavendish on Great North Road. Thank you so much for that concern. Yes, 0955221515. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Oops. What's happening now? Okay, 0955221515. Let's just go for a short break and see what's going on with our phone line here. Please try calling us back. The number to call is 0955221515. Yes, as we wait for the callers, Chief Inspector, maybe you can respond to the message that has come through our Facebook page.
Oh, right.
From Mr. Gregory Banda.
They're causing congestion at
Cavendish and automotive opposite Cavendish. I think this is on is that what road is that? Great North Road.
Great North?
The Great North
Okay,
Road. Yes.
okay, right. Yes. Excuse me. I'm sorry. The law is very clear. We would want to understand how that congestion is caused. Is it because they stop right there and start loading, or is it an obstruction?
I think I know what he means. There is usually traffic lights there,
Yes.
and so there is a bit of small congestion for people waiting for the traffic light. So they want to bypass. They don't want to wait in line. So they go to the filling station. There's a filling station, the gas station, and then they want to join in front of the other people.
All right.
So in turn, causing the congestion. I think that's my experience at that point.
Thank you so very, very much. Obstruction under, like I mentioned, under Section 188 of Act Number 11 of 2002 is an offense, and it attracts a penalty of 450 kwacha. When you're found, guilty with that offense. And statutory instrument number 76 of 2022 talks about boarding and alighting. This applies to both my drivers na my passengers. Pafunika kuimirira pa place pakuti pali designated kuti drivers abwera bapikingire pamene no badropera pamene paka station apo not chabe kuimirira pakati pa road. So ise as the police tikakupeza, because much of the sensitization has been done concerning statutory instrument number 76 of 2022. So ise the police tikakupeza, you as a passenger kumozina driver wako, we will charge you, and the fine is 300 kwacha. And this is really serious. So mamene bakambira Mr. Gregory paja pa Cavendish paja, if there is going to be need for us as a Zambia Police Service to deploy officers to be operating just right there, we will do that. But do we have compliance from members of the public? because in the aspect of road safety, there are three main keys. All right, that is, there is the enforcement part, there is the sensitization part, education, and the compliance part. Okay, we as a Zambia Police Service will enforce the law, but we also expect voluntary compliance from members of the public.
Mm-hmm.
You are the same people, Madam Chifwesa, who
Mm.
come back to us as a Zambia Police Service when, in the execution of our duty, you say it's an inconvenience. It's really unfortunate. Even passengers who join the fight with maybe the wrongdoers to say, "Yeah, motista inconvenience, tienda kotaris."
Mm-hmm.
But we're looking at what is wrong. Okay, is this person doing the right thing? That's what we're supposed to look at. So it's something that we are supposed to get involved as members of the public. We work together with the Zambia Police Service.
Okay.
Kambiri makamba tu police watachita inconvenience. Paja vativuta vatigwira paja. So mwamene wakambira pa Cavendish. The command, ikamvera to kuli complaint yaso. Command will decide whether to deploy my officers vazinkala paja. But you are the same people who will come back to us for police. Why bamankala paja for
Bafuna
police?
chabendara.
Bafuna chabendara, honestly.
Okay, let's try and pick up this caller. Hello, good morning.
Yes.
I'm fine, thank you, sir. Your name and where are you calling us from? We can't. Is there a problem with your handset or something? I can't really get you clearly. Sorry. Please try calling us back. The number to call is 0955221515. Let's try. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Clement calling from within Osaka.
Okay, Mr. Clement, you can go ahead, sir.
I have two concerns, madam.
Okay, quickly, because we need him to respond before we close.
The first one is about the force headquarters, police force headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that line which is coming from UTH joining, is it Independence Avenue?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Independence, yeah. That lane is taken up with the car park. I don't know if the car park, the force headquarters, or I don't know. On your left side, as you're coming from UTH, as you're going to join Independence Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
You know the road I'm talking?
Yes, of course. The one foreign, the one which goes to foreign affairs. Yes.
Yes. That lane is taken. There's only one lane. There's congestion every time there.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is this for the same officers. Sometimes he's using a private vehicle, but if they find congestion, they're using the oncoming lane. Yeah? But I don't know if it's allowed or not.
Okay. Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Clement. But before you respond to this last caller, Chief Inspector, we have a message on our Facebook page. It comes from Aaron, Mr. Aaron in Lovu. He says, "Good morning. I always wonder when the Supreme Law says no one is above the law. However, how come the law enforcement agents do the following? Then police officers can risk their lives for wanting to arrest us sitting in vans. Number 2, then police officers can drive without putting on the seat belts. Number 3, then police officers can speak on the phone. Number 4, then police officers can drive vehicles without number plates. The last one, then police officers can drive without road tax, insurance, etc. Then police officers can sit on open vans and go scot-free." Yes, those two last concerns before we close, Chief Inspector, for you to...
Right. Very much. I want to start with, is it Mr.
Clement? Yes.
Mr. Clement mentioned the Independence Avenue issue, and I want to believe that there is a car park there. I don't know. And
he's talking about the car park which is opposite the small entry, the entry to force headquarters,
there is actually a car park right there.
Yes, but then when it is full, some people opt to park. They kill almost one lane there. So he's saying probably it's you people at force headquarters who does that, and that's obstruction. So what is your comment?
Oh, absolutely not. There is actually a car park right there, and
sometimes people park and kill one lane. Yes, I've seen it.
We have officers right there who are given that duty to actually ensure that there is no. It's mostly it's cleared.
Okay.
That way is mostly cleared. There is a car practice right there, and that way is actually cleared.
Okay, great. And then we have
Sure.
Mr. Aaron Lovell.
Okay,
Mr.
Mr.
Aaron Lovell,
Aaron, Mr.
you
Aaron,
do the things you stop people from doing. So
Mr.
what is really going on?
I would like to say and reassure Mr. Ndlovu that the law is blind. All right. In saying so, nobody is above the law. It doesn't, take shape. It doesn't, regard whatever social status you have, whether you're a police officer, the law still applies to you. We've heard and we've read, we've seen police officers, attending court for, offending, all right, for breaking the law. So nobody is above the law. Section 169 of Act number 11 of 2002 talks about the use of a handheld mobile phone to be illegal. That's an illegal act. Okay. So if you see a police officer who's using a handheld mobile phone, take down the number plate, because maybe sometimes you're risking you cannot maybe effect a citizen arrest
In the uniform.
in the uniform. Maybe
Yeah.
you take down the number plate and make a formal report through 983, because
But what if he's attending to an emergency call?
exactly, that's where I'm getting to now. Okay, because when you
Yeah.
see a police officer, you should know that they are on duty. A police officer is always on duty, regardless whether in uniform or not in uniform, because we have also, officers in civil. So there could be an emergency that they will be attending to. All right. So if you do, maybe just take that into consideration, as long as they are taking due care, even as they're, driving, because there are, rules and regulations that we're supposed to follow. At the end of the day, no one is above the law, and everybody is subject to the same law, whether you're a police officer.
Okay, at least
you're
let's
not.
see them not sitting in the way they sit in that van.
We also look at
Please,
the,
it's not safe for them even.
We also
it's
look
not.
at the mode of transport available, and the
Yeah, but safety always comes first, because you tell me if I have people like that in my van, you obviously going to say, madam, this is not safe. There'll be no excuse.
It's
so
very
even you
difficult.
people, we care about you.
It's very difficult.
The
at the end
citizens
of the
care
day,
about you people. So please, let's stop.
At the end of the day, we have to risk our lives for your safety.
Okay. Thank you.
We have to risk our lives for your safety, Chifwesa.
Okay, yeah.
This is what we signed up for. We are under oath to protect you and your property.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, so unfortunately we have to go. That's all we had time for this week's edition. We hope to have you back next week, Chief Inspector Obby Chilyabufu. And I want to thank all the people who called in, Mr. Willie, Mr. Changwe, Andrew, Aaron, Obvious, and lastly, Mr. Clement. Thank you so much for the participation.
Sure.
And we always look forward to this kind of interaction on this platform. Until next week, we'll obviously have you back with another interesting topic.
Indeed.
Yes, let's go straight into the headlines.
Thank you very much.
Paxton Auto Spares, your leading supplier of genuine spares of all models, Lazy at the entrance of Chilyabufu Market near Choppies. We also have another outlet at the initially